Shalom, this is Rabbi Schorr. Welcome back to Swing Good Torah. We're going to learn today from the Ohr Gedaliah, Rabbi Gedaliah Schorr, some amazing insights into Lag BaOmer. If you stick around for a couple minutes, you're going to learn some wondrous things, amazing things of the mystery of Lag BaOmer. The Jewish people can't be in Meron this year, the kever, the burial place of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, because of the threat from the invasion, the possible invasion of Hezbollah. So we have our little candle here, a little bonfire, and we're going to learn the great Torah insights of the Ohr Gedaliah, the light of Gedalyah. So he says, Lag BaOmer, it's the beginning of the counting of the final third of the days of Sfiras Omer. If you're not familiar with Sfiras Omer, we count 49 days from the second night of Pesach, of Passover, all the way until the holiday of Shavuos. We count the 49 days. It's the mitzvah of Sefer Ohr. And these are the final third days. And it's explained that in the counting, that this is the final third, and that there is an Or Choser from Shavuos. That from the holiday Shavuos, which we're approaching, there's a reflected light of a great spiritual light is already being reflected towards us from Shavuos. And Shavuos is the day of Matan Torah, the day the Jewish people received the Torah at Mount Sinai. And it's the celebration of that every year. It's the time of the receiving the Torah. And then on this day, there is already like an illumination from the time of Matan Torah Senu, of the time of the giving of our Torah. Ubiyom Hazeh, and on this day, Lag BaOmer, it's beginning the Iker, the main essential part of the Hachana L'Chag Shavuos, so the preparation for Shavuos, the preparation to receive the Torah, in receiving the Torah. So Ki Yemei HaSafira Nechalek Legimel Chalakim, and the counting, these 49 days, the Ohr Gedaliah says, are divided into three different periods, and each one's a third, and each third is representing the three things that the world stands upon. What are the foundations of the world? We learn this in Pirkei Avos, the three foundations of the world. And the three foundations of the world, the three pillars of the world are Torah, meaning learning Torah, doing the mitzvos, the avoda. Now the avoda is what the Kohanim, what the Kohanes did in the Beis HaMikdash when we have a temple. It's the offerings and everything that's going on in the temple. Since we don't have the Beis HaMikdash right now, we don't have the temple right now, tefillah, all our prayer is in place of the offerings in the temple. So we daven Shacharis, Mincha, Mariv every day, 3 times a day. We add Musaf, we add the extra on Shabbos, and then the very special Ne'ilah on Yom Kippur. So then the third thing that holds up the world, the third pillar of the world, is Gemilas Chasadim, doing acts of kindness for other people. And these are the things that we do, and Hashem preserves the world. He establishes the world every day. And in the days of the Sphira, a person needs to prepare himself to receive the Torah. And all of these three things, we have to really work on these three things, the learning Torah, doing the mitzvos, the avoda, our tefillah, our prayer, and doing acts of kindness. And this prepares us, for the Torah. And it says, Be'emes, in truth, that when Bnei Yisrael, when the Jewish people went out from Mitzrayim, went out from Egypt, we began to prepare ourselves to receive the Torah. But then we start even more on Lag BaOmer. When we reach the 33rd day of the count, we start to prepare ourselves even more. And on Lag BaOmer, it was the beginning of when the manna began to fall for Klal Yisrael. So the Jewish people will receive the manna in the Midbar, in the desert. And all of this is in a drash, is one of the drashes of the Chasam Sofer. And he says that on the 15th of the month of Iyar, that the charara, the thick cakes that everyone made, which is interesting. How do they have thick cakes? Because we came out of Egypt with, it may have been thin cakes that are made over coals. But we ran out. Whatever dough, whatever matzah we brought out from Egypt, it ran out on the 15th of Iyar. And then there was 3 days where we didn't eat until today, until the 18th of Iyar, Lag BaOmer. And 18, it means Chai, the gematria of Chai, life is 18. And then the man began to come down. So it's known that Chazal says that the only way that we could actually receive the Torah, or the only way that the Torah could be given, is to people that eat man. And we'll see why. Why only people that could eat the manna can receive the Torah? That through the man, nizdechacha gufan, that it purifies. It brings a spiritual purification, a spiritual refinement to the body. There's no gashmias, it's purely a spiritual food. When we made the bracha, we made the blessing on the man, we said, halechem min hashemayim. Instead of hamotzi lechem min haaretz, that Hashem brings the bread out of the ground, hamotzi lechem min hashemayim. Hashem brings this special bread, this spiritual bread, out of heaven. And shechaya ru'uyim l'kabel Torah. And then, after eating the man, after the body became more spiritual, less physical, less filled with gashmias, a spiritual food, then the Jewish people were ready to receive the Torah. So Nimsa she'ikar hachachana l'kabel Torah chisil b'Lag BaOmer. So then, because the man started falling on Lag BaOmer, that this is really the day that we really began to prepare ourselves the most to receive the Torah. And we couldn't receive the Torah without, the man falling on Lag BaOmer. U'sarich adam l'chekin atzmo l'kabel Torah al yedei yagias b'Torah. And a person needs to prepare himself through really working, fatiguing himself, exerting himself in the learning Torah. V'limud ha-Torah b'chazmada. And then just constantly learning Torah day and night. Whenever we have time, we're just constantly learning the Torah. V'al yedei avodaso be'elu hayud zayin yamim. And then through this work, through this avoda on these 17 days, ad ha-Shavuos. So from Lag BaOmer onto Shavuos, there's now 17 days. And so, Ein Tov Ela Torah, and the Ohr Gedaliah adds here that the only good is Torah. Yecho Hadam L'Zechus L'Kabbalah Satorah B'Shavuos. And then, now a person is meriting to receive the Torah. So then he goes on, he says, Lag BaOmer, it's the Hilula de Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. It's the celebration of the life of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, who wrote the Zohar with his chaverim, with his friends and his students. And Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, he had this aspect of someone that ate the manna. So how is that possible? He wasn't alive during the days of Moshe Rabbeinu. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai lived far after that, in the days of the Roman Empire. So how is this possible? He has that aspect of eating the manna. So the Ohr Gedaliah says that when Rabbi Akiva was in the cave for 14 years with his son Rabbi Elazar, v'nizda mainlo min hashemayim mayim ve'etz charuvim. So it was prepared for him. They survived in a miraculous way in that cave. And there was I think there was a miracle where Hashem brings a stream so they can have fresh water every day. And they ate from a carob tree. And usually a carob tree takes 70 years to grow, as the Gemara explains. But it miraculously, I think, sprouted up. And they could eat every day. They could drink the water and eat the fruit of this carob tree every day. And shemamena hayu zan kol hayamim. And all the days they lived in the cave, they were sustained through the water in the carob tree that were in the cave. Ki Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai she'al yedo chaya his galus Torah Shabbat Peh. And that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, that through him is revealed the Torah Shabbat Peh, the oral Torah, which eventually had to be written down in the Mishnah and the Gemara. Shehaya Talmud Shel Rabbi Akiva, because Rabbi Shimon was one of the 5 Talmidim, the 5 students of Rabbi Akiva, and Rabbi Akiva, he hayesod Shel Torah Shabbat Peh. And Rabbi Akiva, the whole transmission of the Torah would have died out if not for Rabbi Akiva, and he's like the foundation. He's the yesod of the Torah Shabbat Peh, the oral Torah. So kula stistima aliba de Rabbi Akiva, and all this is kind of secret. It's hidden according to Rabbi Akiva. But Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, he was the Talmido, he was his student. Ve'al yedei chaya his galus chelek hasod b'Torah. But through Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the secret level, the highest level of the Torah, the Sod level, the Kabbalah level of the Torah was revealed. V'lo haya efshar lehis galos hazos rak ba'ofen Shechaya bebechinas okle haman. And the only way that a person can merit to reveal the secrets of the Torah, if he had this aspect of like being someone that ate the man. He was eating like on a more spiritual existence. He had less of a physical life living in the cave of his son Elazar. And they had more of a spiritual existence, and then they merited to reveal the secrets of the Torah, the highest level, the sod level of the Torah. Hulachein shayich hilula de Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai daika b'Lag b'Omer. And that's why, and therefore it's very fitting that we would celebrate Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai on Lag b'Omer itself, since that's the day that the man fell. Sheba'oso hayom chis hila yerida saman, because that's the day that the man fell. Kamosh gavar Hava Enu B'Shem HaChasam Sofer. It's like we already explained. He says, name the Chasam Sofer. But Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai Shekaya Bebechinas Okel Aman Nis Talek B'Lag b'Omer. And he had this aspect of eating the man, and it was taken on Lag b'Omer. Okay, so then he goes on. He says, B'Sefira Isa Ki Hamem Tes Yamim Shel Sefira. There's 49 days of counting Sefira. And Haim Keneged Hamach Hamem Ches, and these are representing the 48 Devarim, the 48 ways, the 48 things Shehat Torah Niknis Behem, that the Torah can be acquired. So in the sixth parak, the sixth chapter of Pirkei Avos, I believe it's the sixth Mishnah, and it goes on and explains 48 ways, 48 things we can do to acquire the Torah. And there's famous shirim by Rav Noach Weinberg Zal, who teaches the 48 ways, and he goes through these teachings in Pirkei Avos. But there's 48 ways that we can acquire the Torah. So Ki Yamei HaSefira Heim Hachana L'Kabbalas Torah. And these days, these days of Sefira, so we go through these 49 steps each day. U'B'chol Yom Sarich Adam L'Hish Talem B'Kinyan Acha Shebetorah. And then each day, a person can acquire one of these 48 ways to acquire the Torah. B'Kol Kinyan Hu Be'er B'Fnei Atzmo. And then all this acquisition explaining itself. Kamo She'isa B'Midrashim Shemem Ches Pamim. And this is explained in Midrashim the 48 times. So who's Kar Be'er B'Torah. That's mentioned in explaining the Torah. V'heim Keneged Hamem Ches Devarim Shatorah Niknes Behem. And these are opposite against, or represented by, like the 48 ways that the Torah is acquired. V'kol Kinyan Hu Be'er Shalim. And all this acquisition of the Torah, it's explained fully. And I think he references the Gra of Vilna Gaon in his Sefer Aderet Eliyahu. And he says that all of the Nevi'im, that they they were given over only 48 gates of Bina. Only the 48 Sharei Bina, only the 48 gates of understanding. But Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses, he understood 49 gates. And the 48 Nevi'im, I think there's actually 48 Nevi'im, 48 prophets that are mentioned in the Torah, which is interesting, that they established for Yisrael that these would be opposite the 48 gates of Bina, of understanding, and the 48 ways that the Torah is acquired in them. Therefore, there is in the Sefarim that it's a remez, it's a hint that there is a 49th day of the Sefira, and this 49th day, since there's only 48 ways explained in Pirkei Avos, then the 49th way to acquire the Torah, this was only through Moshe Rabbeinu. This is only through Moses, because Shechosif Moshe Yom Echad Medaita, because he added one day onto his das. So Moshe understood the Torah at a higher level, so he added one onto the 48 to make it the 49 days. Ki has chusva chaye al yedei daito shel Moshe Rabbeinu. This is through the das, through the knowledge of Moshe Rabbeinu. Shechisig sha'ar hamem tes, and he even understood up to the 49th gate of understanding. And then I believe there's in essence there's 50 gates, because Shavuos is on the 50th night, and that Bezrat Hashem in the days of Mashiach he'll teach us even the 50th gate of Sharei Bina, of the gates of understanding. We'll learn it even on a higher level. So biyamim elu sarik lehish talem bechol hamidos ha'elu. And then during these days, a person needs to work on, one of these of the 48 ways. Kedei sheyeh b'yacholso lekabel Torah. And then he's able to receive the Torah. V'remez l'davar haya b'shalag ba'omer hi neged kinyam lamed gimel shehu l'das harbe meha rishonim achov es ha-tochachos. Okay, so let me translate all this, sorry. So this is a hint that on Lag BaOmer, so we said that there's 48 ways. So the 33rd Lag is Lamed Gimel, the gematria of 33. So this is the 33 day of the Omer. And on the list of the 48 ways, the 33rd of them is to love tochacha, to love, like if someone, and this is hard for most people to do, but a tzaddik loves tochacha. Someone says, oh, you're not doing it right, this is the way it is, this is really the correct way to learn Torah, this is the correct way to do the halakha, this is the correct way to work on derech eretz, to like how you're treating other people, this is the correct, so just taking tochacha, listening to people wiser than us in the Torah, so Rebbeim, to great tzaddikim who have a greater knowledge of the Torah. And if they correct us, a tzaddik, or the way to really learn Torah is to love being corrected, which is not easy, but it's gonna teach us better. We're gonna learn more when we make a mistake, if we listen to people wiser than us. And that's the 33rd way out of the 48, and that's on Lag BaOmer. U'lechein b'yom hazeh hifsik misa talmidei Rabbi Akiva. Now, because of this aspect of loving tochacha, this now stopped the death of the students of Rabbi Akiva. Shemisasam haya al yedei shelo haya bechem achavas chaverim. Now they weren't following. One of the 48 ways is to love your friends. To love your study partners. And then v'chakna'am, and to like zeh, like to humble yourself. And nava is another one of the 48 ways, to be humble. The Torah was created by an infinite being. There's infinite wisdom in there, and we got to be humble. We make mistakes. The Yetzer Hara leads us astray. We have biases, so we got to be humble when we approach learning the Torah. Ubiyom hazeh hishtalmu atmam b'mina zo sho achov es hatochacha. But when we love tochacha, when we can hear how we're doing wrong, and the students at Rabbi Akiva, they weren't learning it in the correct way, so now they can be corrected. Through this aspect, they can be corrected. So I'm not going to go on to the next two sections, but we're going to finish up with the final section here, and it's really beautiful. Maybe B'ezras Hashem, maybe at some point we'll do the other two sections. So it says on Lag BaOmer, this is the time l'chisazek b'Torah, to strengthen ourselves in the Torah. Sha'af im lo lamad, even if we didn't learn. Now this is a really incredible concept. Even if we didn't learn these 33 days, even up till now, or let's say even chas v'sham, our whole life, we've never really learned the Torah. V'haya lo zamanim shel nefila, and this is like a time of lowliness, of falling. But Lag BaOmer, hu zaman l'chazek es atzmo, but now it's a time to strengthen ourselves. So even if we haven't learned it all up until now, maybe sweet and good Torah is the first time you're ever hearing Torah, who knows? But even if we haven't learned these 33 days, now, Lag BaOmer, now's the time to begin. Now's the time that we start to strengthen ourselves. V'yesh lo likach limod Rabbi Akiva, and we can learn this great teaching from Rabbi Akiva. Shemeso lo kaf dalet aleph talmidim. Rabbi Akiva lost 24,000 students during this period, in horrible plague. V'achar kach ha'amid chamisha talmidim u'beinechem Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai. But then he started again. It says that Rabbi Akiva, he went to the 5 rabbis in the south, and Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai was one of them. Here, let's see if I can get it. So it's Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Shimon, Rabbi Elazar ben Shemua, and Rabbi Yossi. And I believe sometimes Rabbi Nehemiah is put in. So Rabbi Akiva, what it's saying is he didn't give up. He lost 24,000 students in this plague, and he started again. And he started again with the 5 students of the south. And Rabbi Shimon was one of them. And then Sha'al Yedechem, and through their hands, through the hands of these 5 students, Haya Hish Pashtus HaTorah B'Yisrael. And then the Torah was spread, expanded to the whole Jewish people, just through these 5 students. Below Nisyayesh mizeh shemesu lo kafdala alf talmidim. But he didn't lose hope. He wasn't misyayesh. He didn't give up hope. Even though he lost 24,000 students, he went on. Kain ko adam, and so it's for every person. Af she'avru lo his tirus shonim v'niflos, that even though that a person may, I don't know, it passes through him like the histeros, like the hiddenness of the teachings, and they fall away from him. Yechazek atzmo belimud Torah. He'll strengthen himself with learning Torah. Ve'af shekavar avru shnei shalish mimei hasafira. Even though the 2/3 of the Sefer Ohr have already gone by, ein lo lechis tayesh. A person should not give up hope. Kamo she'amar HaRabbeinu HaKodesh, HaMagid MeKutznetz. The Magid from Kutznetz, he says. And he says on this pasuk, on this verse in Sefer Vayikra, in a verse from Leviticus, he says, Ad memachares HaShabbos HaShavis Tisperu Chamishim Yom. That after the next day, after Shabbos, in this case Shabbos means the Yom Tov, the first day of Pesach, one of those crazy groups, the Sadukim or whatever, I don't know. They were saying it has to be on Sunday, but it's not. It's really just second day of Pesach. But then it's like, then we begin to count the 50th for the 50th day. Sha'af, im kavar avar lo kol hamentes yom shel savira. Even if a person didn't do any of the Sefer Ohr, didn't count it all, didn't learn Torah for these whole 49 days, this is where it gets incredible. Adayin hu yachol berega achas lahayir biavodaso. A person, even in one instant can illuminate, can light up all his avoda, all of his service to Hashem, his work for Hashem. Kamo ha'avoda shel kol ha'chamishim yom. And if a person truly, from the bottom of his heart, all of a sudden at that moment wants to learn Torah, it's like in that one moment he can accomplish what took everyone else 50 days to accomplish through this period of Sefer Ohr. So it's never too late. We're never too old. We're never too lowly. We're never too rich. We're never too poor to learn the Torah. The Torah is open to every Jewish person all the time, all day, all night. And Hashem is just waiting for us to open up the words of the Torah and begin to learn. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope to see you back soon on Speaking Torah. Have a great Lag BaOmer. And may it be Galei Nai Ben Torah Seka. May Hashem open our eyes and reveal the great depth and secrets and mysteries of the Torah to us all, and bring us, to a love for each other, just like the 5 students of Rabbi Akiva who then saved the whole Torah. Okay, hope to see you back again soon on Sweet and Good Torah.